Thought I had it under control. It was just a few drinks, but the more that I drank, the darker things got, the scarier things got, and the stupider I got. One day, I just looked in the mirror and I didn't even recognize who I was. I said to myself, fuck, there's got to be more to life than this. All I had was a bottle and the fucking misery. The abyss of loneliness and emptiness that can never be filled by the amber liquid of freedom that they say, but alcohol has a cost. And there's many costs. There's the costs that you can see. Money, 4K, 6 months, gone. Drinking every day, $50 here, the $100 here, the $200 here. The money that just always seems to be constantly flowing so that you can get your drinks, whether you're at home or you're out. Because as long as you get your fix, it doesn't matter. Because you don't care about anything apart from getting pissed and, getting pissed. It's funny, you think, oh, well, you're going to go out for a big night and it's no problem to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But when you think, oh, fuck, I've got to buy some food, you're penny pinching and looking at the bargain basement for the cheap shit. But you've got no problem. 20 or 30 bucks for a drink. Fucking insane. These are the insane things, the costs that alcohol makes us really pay for the privilege of fucking up our lives. Like I said, you're always broke, but you've always got money for booze because you just got to make the money. You've got to have the money so that you can get pissed, so that you can feed that fucking monkey on your back. I used to drink all the time. Money was not an issue until it was an issue. But even though it was an issue, there was no alcohol that could not be obtained. When I think about it now, I could have invested in my future, but I spent all that money just to numb the present. I was paying for the privilege to not be in my life. I was paying for the privilege night after night to wake up fucking sick, hungover, going to work, unable to fucking function as a human, let alone as a man, as a leader. I was paying for that privilege. Thousands of dollars, month after month, year after year, after decade. And then at some point you realize all that costs for what? And then we talk about the time. You just think about the weekends, your lost weekends, night after night. The nights that you pass out, the days where you crawl out of bed or barely crawl out of bed or can't crawl out of bed. All those lost years that you just can't get back. These are the prices that we pay. This is the price that we pay for our addiction, for our little treat, for our reward. Then we also pay with our energy and motivation, because when you're drinking all the time, you're constantly flat, no motivation at all. And I used to think as that I was getting older that it was normal to feel like you'd been punched in the face by God every fucking morning, that you'd been, I don't know, your throat had been cleaned with sandpaper and your bile was just a friend that used to come and visit you every morning. I'd lose my edge, my drive, my abilities to succeed in life. Everything was gone. That was the price that I was paying. These are the price that you pay, that you can see. That's what you can see. Now let's think about what you can't see. Intangible things that are the price that I paid. You pay with your ability to trust yourself. Every time you say to yourself, fucking not tonight. And every time that you're stuck at the bottle shop going, not tonight. And every time that you step over the threshold of the bottle shop, every time that you walk in there, even though you promised yourself the whole fucking day that you were never going to do that. Just a little bit of your self-trust gone. Every time that you break a promise to yourself, every time that I said to myself, not today, every time today came, just a little bit more of that self-trust. And then you just get to a point where you just don't even bother to say it anymore because you know that you're fucking full of shit. So then you don't have any self-trust. You can't trust anything that you say. And that makes you feel fucking even worse. And that's when we talk about the shame, because you just don't trust yourself anymore, and then it becomes shameful. And then you have the relationship problems. You pay with relationships. You come home pissed. And you look in your family's eyes and they fucking think fuck. And you think fuck. I wasn't necessarily violent, but I wasn't present either. I wasn't a father that I wanted to be for my kids. I wasn't a husband that I wanted to be for my wife. And I wasn't a man that I wanted to be for myself. All because I wanted to get pissed. And there's moments in my life that I can never change. There's mistakes that I've made that I can't take back. And these are the things, the price that I paid for my relationships, Not only did I pay those prices, my family paid those prices too. They'll continue to pay. My relationships still need work, but I'll stop digging the hole. But that's something that you can't see. It's something you can't put a price on. The most important things in your world, more than alcohol, is your family and your self-trust and your self-belief. What about your missed potential? What about the potential that you could have been? When you look in the mirror and say, is this it? Am I everything that I wanted to be? Have I done everything that I wanted to do? Am I the man that I swore that I'd become? When I looked in the mirror, I thought, fucking, who am I? I knew I had more in me. I knew that there was more. I knew that there was something in me. But every day, back at the fucking bottle shop, putting the shit in me because I couldn't face the fear of going through the abyss. And the more that you drink, the more that you become the man that you never wanted to be. Every time I drank, a little bit more of me disappeared. And every time that I promised myself, not today, and I didn't fucking follow through with action, a little bit more of me disappeared. And that's what happens, because most men will ignore what I'm saying, because they'll say to themselves, everybody fucking drinks. But alcohol's poison. It's just normalized poison. So if everyone's drinking poison, does that mean that you should too? And you'll say, oh, well, I'm stressed. I need the relief. I need the reward. I deserved it. I worked hard. But is it really a reward if it's fucking punishing every part of your body? If it's punishing your relationships? If it's punishing your wallet? If it's punishing everything else? Is it really a reward? The cost is too high if you drink to excess. The price that you are going to pay is huge. If you drink to excess, ultimately you will pay with everything. And I don't say that fucking lightly, because I think, oh yeah, fucking scary. But the truth is, it is scary. You just have to look, because first of all, it'll take everything that you have. And then when it's done that, it'll take your life. And I'm not saying that to be scary or to try and put the wind up. But when you think about it, you look at people, the lifelong, long-term drinkers, look at the quality of the life that they have as they get older. As you get older, the quality of your life goes down. Your abilities to drink goes down. Your abilities to enjoy life goes down. And your actual function in life goes down. We're already pushing against age anyway. So most people, as they get older, generally start to have problems. But if we're actually increasing the problems with putting things in our body that shouldn't be in our body, and making our bodies not necessarily as healthy as they need to be, all these things are going to start to add up. All these problems are going to start to add up. And for me, I didn't even realize that this was happening to me until I had a stroke. There was no warning. There was no lead up to it. It was just one day I was going to work, and the next day I was pissed in the middle of the night. And then I woke up and I was having a seizure, and then I had a stroke when I was planning on going to work that day too. So there was no lead up. It was just one day I was okay. And the next day my life changed for a significant amount of time, because I had to go to hospital. I had to be in hospital for months. I had to go through rehab, alcohol rehab, but rehab to walk again, to talk again properly. Needed physiotherapy, and I needed to learn how to use my body again, because my body had a brain injury, all because of my drinking. But like I said, there was no warning. There was no lead up. It wasn't an event. It just happened. And I'd like to say that was my wake up call, but the thing is, your wake up call is lots of little moments, lots of little things over and over and over again. Some will heed the message at some point and some won't. But the thing is, with the message, it just gets loud until you can't ignore it. And some people will ignore it. And that's how people end up either really sick or really dead or really in trouble. Because they say, in the 12-step groups that you end up jail, death, or institutions. That's where alcohol leads you, and that is the truth. As much as I'd like to say that you can outsmart this shit, you can't. It's not something that you can go, oh, I'm too fucking clever for that. Because the ones that are too clever to say, well, fuck, I can't play with fire, usually get burnt. The really clever ones say, that's dangerous. I probably won't do it. That's what I did. Although, like I said, it took a long time and a lot of humbleness and a lot of willingness to fucking see things for what they were. before I was able to go, hey, that's pretty dumb. And you say, well, how do you change? Well, for me, it was a process. It was recognizing that what I believed about alcohol was wrong. What I believed about myself was wrong. What I believed that I couldn't do was wrong. And then ultimately just coming to the conclusion that things needed to change. Then I flicked the sober switch. You can check it out down below where we can talk about how I can help you flick the sober switch in your life. But that being said, that's what I did. I created a system where I could live day by day with actionable steps so that I could fucking start to live a life that made fucking sense to me. And it wasn't about going to AA. It wasn't about going to rehab. It wasn't about fucking finding God. It was about taking responsibility for my life and then becoming sober. But not only sober, becoming free from the monkey on your back. Because there's no point just being fucking sober and white knuckling and fucking stressing about drinking, whether you do or don't drink. And if you need to count every minute of every millisecond that you're not drinking, that's not freedom. Freedom is not fucking wanting to drink. Freedom is not fucking even thinking about it. I only think about alcohol because I fucking have to talk about it as for this to help people. If I wasn't talking about helping people, if I wasn't talking about the solution, alcohol wouldn't be in my life. Every now and again, you probably think, oh, you get that thought, but we get lots of thoughts. I heard Robin Williams once say that an alcoholic thinking about alcohol is like when you're on top of a bridge and it says you can fly. It's just that momentary insanity that you think, or if you're up really high and you look over the edge and you think, oh, fuck, I could fly. But that's what it's like when you think, oh, I could have a drink right now. You could fly, but it's not the flying that's going to stop you, which is like in this analogy, it's not the drinking that's going to pull you up. It's a fucking floor that's going to pull you up. It's gravity. It's a sudden stop, whatever that stop might be. So when you think about it, you can fly, but you can be sober if you flick the sober switch. And the moment that you stop drinking, you can start to live and you can start to be free. And because I know if you're listening to me, you fucking want to be free. You deserve to be free. There's more to life than getting fucking pissed. And if any of what I've said today hit you in any way, there's a free masterclass below. Watch it. Costs you nothing but a few minutes of your time. And if it helps you or if it interests you, book a call. And we can work together so that I can help you flick the switch in your head and you can become free. Because this might be your moment. This might be the line in the sand where you can make a difference in your life. And not only make a difference in your fucking family's life. Because that is what it's all about. It's about legacy. It's about building a life that you want to live. And it's about being the man that you want to be. It's not about running away and hiding from the fucking drink. It's about fucking standing up to life, being the fucking man. I believe in you. I really do. It's fucking scary to change, but it's also scary to say the same. You already know what's going to happen if you keep drinking. And if you don't, you'll find out. But I invite you to get sober with me. Go to kickthepiss.com and let's talk about how we can change your life together. My name's Jason and I'm here to help you change.